Well, happy, healthy, beautiful day. Eric Higgins here, holistic health coach and actor calling out of Portugal. And on this call today, I'm joined by two very special gents, and we're going to be talking about longevity, enhancing longevity and human performance with functional medicine. Now, I'm going to be joined by an elite level coach, a top coach with Tony Robbins, an elite athlete, a former professional skateboarder, an elite level master instructor in animal flow, alongside of Dr. Bob Rakowski, 33 years in clinical practice as a clinical nutritionist, a chiropractor, kinesiologist, someone who's looking at root cause medicine, looking at the source of what are the challenges that are bringing us and breaking us down, and is an expert in helping to bring not only elite athletes to hit world champion accolades, but also bring sick people who are really in a bad state, sent home to die, to bring them back to their best health and walking around alive and well today. So, gents, so great to have you on our call today. Welcome if you're watching this live. Dr. Bob, Sascha, I would love to just welcome you to this call. I'm going to pass over to you, Sascha, just to ask just a couple of questions that I know you were keen to ask.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for the introduction here. And I'm really delighted and excited to be speaking to the two of you. And just knowing that, Eric, we met, what was it, 6 months ago, something like that, 7 months ago in Portugal. And I had no idea what I would be running into. I was running into you, or I was seeking to meet someone to do animal flow at the beach with. No idea I had that we would be sitting here half a year later, speaking about something which, is of a different level, but at least as fascinating to me because it aligns so much with my vision of, creating impact and lasting change. And along these lines, we spoke about this call up front, and there's so much along these topics of longevity and functional medicine, or there was so much, as you mentioned, Dr. Bob, meat around the topic. You could just go off for hours. I have no doubt about that. So we really narrowed it down to a couple of key questions here, so that we could really give the listener, the viewer, like the biggest value, relatively short video. Now, let me shoot it over to Dr. Bob. If you would like to say something for the beginning here of this video, do so. Otherwise, I'm going to fire off my questions here.
Well, one, gratitude. I love being surrounded by greatness, and it's been said many times, how do you lead? By example, by example, by example. And I look at the way you show up in the world, even though you're a new friend, I've looked at you enough that you are leading great mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, social, financial, and impactful. Eric and I now go back a long way, and it's no mistake. I call him the Irish Superman. He might actually be more like Thor. But you know what? I'm so blessed to learn from both of you, because you've taken a lot of this movement and success in life to a whole new level.
One of the key principles in my life really was always, and I do remember when I was 16, I started writing a diary, just a really short tangent here. One of the key lines I wrote there was, I want to continue doing certain things as long as I feel myself progressing. And this really is one of the key principles here for me, to really always seek growth, and then speak to someone like yourself, Dr. Bob, or Eric, and really, listen to that wisdom that's there. So with that being said, I would like to actually open up the conversation here to just pick your brain on longevity and functional medicine, and kick it off with the first question. How would you define longevity from a functional medicine standpoint?
Well, I'm gonna give the short answer first. Living better, longer. I like to share little stories because they have impact. So I love listening to Sadhguru, an absolute sage of wisdom. And someone said, Sadhguru, would you please give me a blessing? And he says, sure, I'd be happy to. And they said, I'd like you to bless me with a long life. And he chuckled and he says, the only way to live a long life is to be miserable. And he said, think about that for a moment. When you're in flow, when you're in the moment, when you're enjoying everything, time absolutely flies. I want your life to go in a flicker, not because you only lived a microsecond, but because every moment was so valuable, so delicious, and so amazing. And when we look at functional medicine, I'm going to define it in the terms of one of my great mentors, best-selling author, neurologist, nutritionist, David Perlmutter. And he said this: functional medicine is the opposite of dysfunctional medicine. Instead of trying to suppress a symptom, we want to get after cause and effect, and we want to improve every aspect of function, however you want to apply it in life. Too many people say, well, I'm getting old. I've had people tell me that at age 30. Hey, what's causing the problem? I guess I'm getting old. Oh my. Well, we've got to change that perspective, don't we? And that's what we're here to do. We're here to add value, change perspective, and show people what's possible.